Hello everyone, welcome to Coding Techniques. Today I'm going to teach you the most awaited login screen design, which is the e-commerce auth screen. Alright, so out there we are going to build the sign in page, sign up page and the OTP screen also. So let's get started. So now if you want to set up a new project, link is already there at the top right corner and you can click on that and it will open up a video which I've already created for setting up a new Ionic project. So I have already set up my new project and I have already run Ionic serve. Alright, you can run it in your command prompt. Alright, and once that is done, my app is working. You can see out here the link is out it is running in the localhost 8100. Alright, let me set up the whole project now. So our project is totally set up. Now what I'll do is I'll simply remove the home page, but I'll delete it because we will be creating our own auth screens. Alright. And in the IP routing module, I will simply remove the path home. Okay, and after doing that, I will open another PowerShell, and within that, I will type Ionic G. I'll create a page, and I will write it as sign in. All right. Now this page is created. Let's go to the page, and before that, let's go to the app routing module, and you can see the sign in path is already there. I'll change redirect to sign in. All right. And let's go to the sign in page now. In the HTML, what I'll do is, this is the design. So this is the design which we are going to build right now. Alright. So in that, I don't need an ion header, so I'll simply remove it. And in the ion content, I'll give a property called full screen, which will be true. Alright. Now within that, what I'll do is, so before going ahead, what I'll do is to my ion content, I'll pass a background image. So for that, I'll be using a predefined property dash background, and I'll pass the URL to the assets folder. Alright, and it will be dash. I'll go to the assets folder within the images folder, and then there is a file called ecom1.png, and no repeat, center / cover. Alright, now you can see in the assets folder I have the imgs folder and the file is already there. This is the file, so you can just download my code and get the file from there. Alright, and set it up in your project. So this is the thing which we are going to build. Now let's use ion grid, and within that I will have an ion label. I'll pass the color as white. So white color is not defined yet in my variable.scss, as you can see out in here. So what I'll do is I'll create one, and for that I'll open my Ionic framework docs. This is the URL. Alright, so go to the color section and scroll down to the new color creator, create a white color FFFFF. Alright, copy the thing in the root and paste it after the light color. Alright, and change it to white. And once that is done, one more thing we have to do, we have to copy the class also and paste it after the root object so that it can work in our project, otherwise it won't work. Alright, now it's going to work, so I'll name it as welcome. Let's see, and it is coming up. Alright, now once that is done, I will pass a class to my ion label, ion margin, and also ion padding star. So we'll have some padding and it's working. Alright, and if I don't give the padding, what's happening is we can see the size is little less, and that is why I'll give ion padding star. Alright, now let's design our ion grid. Within the ion grid, I'll do some transformation to the y direction, and it will be 10 VH, and I think it's good. Alright, and then what I'll do is I'll work on the ion label, give it a font size of 1.8 rem, and also the font weight to be bold and letter spacing to be 0.8 pixel. Now it's working nicely. Alright, once that is done, after this is done, what I'll do is I'll create a p tag within my ion label, and out there what I'll do is I will have an ion text. Alright, and to that I will pass a class ion margin and ion padding star. Alright, I'll write back out there. Alright, let's do some styling out there also. As you can see, the font size is pretty small, so I'll pass a p tag in with my ion label also so that we can have the same font size and other stuffs too. Now this is done. Let me save everything. Alright, now I will use an ion footer, and within the ion footer I'll pass a class ion no border. Alright, and within the ion footer what I'll do is I'll create an ion row, and to that ion row I'll pass an ion list. Alright, and lines will be full. Now within the ion list I will have an ion list header. alright, because we want to show the header, alright. Now I'll pass a class called ion margin, and within that I'll have an ion label, and to that I'll pass sign in, alright. Now you can see sign in is coming up. Now once that is done, I'll work on some CSS also to that. Now I'll pass ion footer, within that ion row. Then into the ion row I'll pass a background transparent because I want the same background to be given to my ion footer row, alright. And I'll display to block because I want to see the whole size, alright. I want to take the whole size. Yeah. And now I want to pass the border radius also. Let's do that. So to my ion list, I'll pass a border radius of 20 pixel to the top left, 20 pixel to the top right, then 0 and 0 to the top bottom left and bottom right, alright. And it is showing up, alright. And once that is done, I will work on my ion list header. I will pass on ion label to a font weight of bold and font size of 1.8 EM this time, alright. Now in my ion grid I have used 1.8 REM, and if I try to go for 1.8 EM, let's see how it works, and it is looking pretty big, which is not nice, so I'll make it 1.8 REM and keep it 1.8 EM out here, alright. So this is done. Now after that, what I'll do is I'll create an ion item group, which is a wrapper for keeping all our ion items, alright. And I'll pass a class to it, ion margin horizontal and also ion margin bottom, alright. Horizontal will give margin to the left and right side, and within that what I'll do is I will have a form which is of form group type. I'll use the form group out here. For that I have to go to the sign in module and pass a reactive form out there, alright, because on the forms module it is not present. We have to use the reactive form to use the form group, alright. Now in my sign in type script I'll define a property called form, which is of type form group, and I will import it up. Now once that is done, the error is gone, and within the form what I'll do is I'll create an ion item, and within the ion item I will have an ion input to which I will give a phone control name of phone. Placeholder will be mobile number and the type will be tel, alright. Let's align it properly, and once that is done I will give a min length property of 10 characters and max length to be of 10 characters, alright. And I'll copy it up and paste it out here, and for our password I'll give the form control name to be password, placeholder to be password, type to be password, alright. And I will remove the min length and max length because that is not needed out here, alright. Now once that is done, let's save up everything and see the design now. Now you can see the design is showing up, alright, and it is pretty good. Now to my password, I also want it to be visible whenever needed, so I'll use an ion icon for that to make it visible and invisible whenever I need. So what I'll do is I'll create an ion icon and I'll pass the name to be I outline and slot to be end and color to be medium, alright. Now I want it to be clickable and work on the functionality. So in my ng on it, what I'll do is I'll first initialize my form so that we don't get any errors. I will pass the phone number, I'll use the phone group and I'll pass the phone number, new form control, and out in there I will initialize it to null or an empty string, whatever you like to do, alright. Then I'll pass the validators. What I'll pass in the validators dot required, because phone number is a required field, and the minimum length also I'll pass out there. Validators dot min length will be 10 and validators dot max length will also be 10. Now the next thing what I'll do is I will also pass once that is done, I will pass the password also up in there. I'll simply copy it up and paste it out in here, and I will remove this. I will change this min length to 8 characters and remove the max length, not needed in password, alright. You can type any character, any length characters as you like, but minimum should be 8. Now I'll pass a property called type, which is of type boolean, and I'll set it to true initially. Now in my ion icon I'll make it an input property, and out here what I'll do, I'll make it it is a string, so I'll check if type is true, then I will set it to I outline, otherwise I'll set it to I of outline, alright. And similarly I'll do it out here also to my type in my ion input. I'll also make it an input property. I'll check if type is true, then I'll set password, otherwise I'll set it as text, alright. Let me align it properly, and then what I'll do is I'll pass a click event. I'll call change type function, and let me declare that function up in there. So after declaring, what I'll do out here, I'll simply type this dot type will be equals to not of this dot type. So I'll simply toggle the type value, alright. So now if I type something and click on the icon, you can see it is getting visible and my icon is changed. Now if I click again It is working nicely. Alright. Now once that is done, I will go to my CSS, SCSS, and out there I will work on my Ion input within my Ion list. So I will pass a font size of 0.9 em. Okay, now it is coming smaller. That's good. So this is what I needed. Alright. Now next thing what I'll do is I'll go to the HTML and copy this Ion item and cut this up and paste it in a div so that we can have the errors also. Alright. And to the div I'll pass Ion margin vertical, and after the Ion item I'll pass an Ion text, and to which I will pass a condition if form.getPhone is not valid and it is touched. Alright. Then I will throw some errors. That means if I have touched it and still I'm going somewhere else, then it will show me the errors. Alright. Now I'll pass another Ion text to which I will give another condition if form.getPhone has error, and which is the error required one. If that is the case, then I'll pass and please enter the mobile number. Alright. And I'll give a color to be danger. Okay. Now I'll copy this up and paste it again, and now I'll change the condition to be min length. Alright. If it has error min length and it is not required. Alright, the required field is already set, so there is no error for required, otherwise it will clash. Both the errors will show up together. And then what I'll do is please enter a valid phone number. I'll simply change it. Alright. Once that is done, I'll pass a class to my Ion text called error. Okay, and to both the Ion text, and let's work on that now. So within my Ion list I will pass error, to which I will pass a font size of 0.75 em. Okay, and I'll make it important so that the things won't clash. Alright, and now what I'll do is I'll do the same task for my password also. So I'll copy the Ion text error, paste it below my Ion input password, create another div, cut this up and create a div, and I'll give a Ion margin vertical, paste it out, and after that I'll pass the Ion text also, change everything to like please enter the password, and if the min length also I'll check, and please password must be a minimum 8 characters long. Alright, I'll type it out there. Now once that is done, let's check the output now. So I'll type the phone number, let me pass something. I have not passed anything and it is showing me the error. Now if I don't pass anything in my password also, it is showing me the error. If I try to type something, it is showing me again the different error. Alright, so this is working nicely. Now once that is done, what I'll do is I'll design the other stuff that is needed in my sign in page. Alright, which is the forget password and the sign in button. So let's do that. Now after my form, I'll create an Ion item. Within that, what I'll do is let me pass lines equals to none out in there in the Ion item, and a class of Ion padding top. Alright, pass an Ion text. Within that, I will pass a color of danger and slot to be start, and now within the Ion text I will write forgot password. Alright, with a question mark, and again I will copy it up to the Ion text and paste it again and change the color to dark, slot will be end, and I'll pass a class sign up if I might do something up in there, and change it to sign up. I'll pass it into a strong tag so that it will be bold. Alright, and it is coming up nicely, it is showing me bold, so I'll remove the class not needed. Alright, once that is done, what next we need to do is in my Ion row I need to pass this Ion fab button also. So let's do that. So for that I'll use Ion fab tag and pass vertical equals to top, horizontal equals to end, and I'll pass an Ion fab button for that. Within that, and pass a color to danger, and Ion icon will be passed within that, to which I will pass a name, Ion arrow forward outline. Now let me pass a click event to it so that we can work on it, and I'll pass sign in function in that. Let me declare that up, sign in function, and within that I'll simply check if this.form is valid, and I'll pass not. If it is not valid, then I'll simply return, and before that what I'll do is I'll mark all as touched in my form so that I can get all the errors. Alright, so that is what I'm going to do out in here. Let's check it out. So I'll hit on it and we can see the errors. Alright, so all the errors are showing up. That's great. Now once that is done, let's align our Ion fab button nicely. So I'll pass an Ion padding of 5 pH to my Ion row, and we can see it is getting aligned right now. Alright, now I need some margin to the right side. So in my Ion fab button, let me call it up in here, and within that I'll pass margin right to be, let's 2 VH. Let's see, okay, it's little bit more, so I'll give 2.5 VH, and now it's okay. Alright, so this is good. Now our forget password and sign up size is also bigger, ion text size. So let me quickly do that. So I'll pass in my ion input, I'll pass ion text also so that I can have the same size, font size 0.9 em, and it is looking nice now. Alright, now I will try to type something in my password, click on the icon, and it is showing up nicely. As you can see, the errors are showing up properly. Alright, if I type something in the phone number, I'm getting the errors. And now if I try to submit the form, nothing is showing up. Alright, I need to see something in my console. So what I'll do is, in the function, I'll simply console the form.value. Alright, and now if I fill up the form and hit the submit button, I can see the value is coming up. Alright, so this is working nicely. So we have successfully designed our sign in page. You can see that design is almost the same. Now we need to design the sign up page, which is this one. Alright, so let's do that now. So I will create a page, sign up Ionic G page. Within my sign in page, I will have the sign up. So I sign in /sign up and hit enter. Now the page is created. We can see that within our sign in folder we have the sign up folder, and let's go to the sign in routing, and we can see the sign up is out there. Alright, and now what I'll do is I'll pass a router link to my sign up ion text, and I'll redirect to the sign up page. Alright, in this manner. Also, what I'll do is I'll pass a click event for my and forget password also. So forget password function, let me define it up in here, forget password, and I'll simply console forget. Alright, I'll not pass any other function. Let's save and see. If I click on forget password, I can see the console, it is showing up. Alright, that's great. Now if I click on sign up, I'm getting redirected to the sign up page. Now once that is done, what I'll do is I'll simply copy everything from my sign in page HTML and paste it in my sign up page HTML, and then I will copy everything from my TypeScript sign in and paste it in my sign up page TypeScript. Alright, and pass in my, also copy everything from the sign in page SCSS file to the sign up page SCSS. Sign up module, I'll pass reactive forms module instead of forms module. Alright, and I can see some errors are popping up in the CSS also. What I'll do is, the error is coming up because of the URL. I'll simply pass another, because we are in the sign in folder, so I have to keep the proper routing. Alright, now it is showing up. Everything is working, and you can see the URL. It is showing me that I'm in the sign up page. That's great. Now I'll change it to ecom2 because I have designed it different in my assets folder. So that's correct, that's fine. Now I'll go to the sign up page and let's design it. I'll call it let's start instead of welcome, and I won't need any p tag. I'll remove the iron padding start. Let's see the design now, and it is coming up. Alright, once that is done, I will even transform it to 7VH instead of 10VH, and I think it's good. Now I'll work on now I'm going to change the function name to sign up instead of sign in, and in my sign up page TypeScript file, I'll again change out there also. So once that is done, what I'll do is I will even change the text to sign up. Now if you look at the design that we need to build, you can see that the name and the email inputs and items are extra that we need to add, and at the bottom we need to make few changes. So let's quickly do that. So out there at the bottom, I'll quickly change it to already have an account, and text also to sign in. Now in the router link, I'll simply remove the sign up. I just need to redirect to sign in, and I'll also remove the click event from the already have an account because forget password is not there. Now I'll copy the mobile number div and paste it above that and change it to name everywhere. Type will be text, and in the error condition, I'll change everything to name. And remove the second ion input because I need only one. There will be only one error, which is the required one, and I'll type out there, please enter your name. Alright, and I'll simply copy that and paste it after the phone number, and I'll name it as form control name will be email, placeholder will be email, address type will be email. Alright, and the name I'll change it everywhere to email. Alright, once that is done, the error is fine. I'll paste another error, and this time it will be the error for email also. I'll check for email error also, and I'll write out there, please enter a proper email address, and above that I will write, please enter your email if that is not required. Alright, I'll make changes in my form group. So out here I'll simply copy phone number and paste it out above that and name it as name. Remove the min length, max length field, and again I'll paste it below that. type it, make it email, and validators.email I will add it instead of mainland and maxland. Let's save and see how it looks like. Okay, the sign up text, let me pass P to be small. And once that is done, I will submit the form if the errors are popping up. Alright, the errors are popping up, and if I try to type some password, let me fill up the form. And as you can see, when I'm filling up the form, the errors are showing up. The errors are changing. Alright, even in the email also it is changing, and once I type the proper email, it's gone. Alright, now I'll click on submit form, and I can see the value is showing up in here. Alright, if I click on sign in, I am getting redirected to the sign in page, and the URL has changed. Now if I click on sign up again, I am getting redirected to the sign up page. Alright, so this is done. So now the only thing that is left is the I am back button, because whenever we are going from sign in to sign up page, there should be a back button so that the transition can be pretty smooth. So what I'll do is I will create an ion header within my ion content, and I'll pass a class ion no border, and within that I will have a ion toolbar. Within that I will pass ion button, slot will be start, and within that I will have the ion back button, to which I will give a default ref of sign in/sign in. Alright, and I will pass a color of white. Alright, now once that is done, we can see the output. Alright, it is showing up. Let's design a bit. So I'll pass background to transparent to my ion toolbar, and we can see the back button now. Alright, now even I will comment my transform in my ion grid, and we can see the design nicely. Now if I click on the back button, I'm getting redirected to the sign in page. If I click on sign up, I'm getting redirected to the sign up page. Alright, now I need to verify my phone number, because if the phone number you have entered is correct or not. So for that we will check it via OTP. So I'll change the function name from forget password to verify via OTP, and in my HTML what I'll do is I'll create an ion button within the ion item for the phone number, and to which I will pass a slot of and fill will be clear. Alright, I'll name it as verify, and the color which I'll pass is the primary color, I think, which is the light blue color by default, which is defined in my variable.cs. And now we can see the output, it is showing up. That's great. And let me pass a click event to it. So I'll pass a function verify via OTP, which I've already created. I'll console the phone number within my form. So in the output, if I click on verify, I can see nothing is coming up, it is showing null. If I type a number and click on verify, then I can see the value is coming up. That's great. So now let's work on the verify OTP page. Now in order to create a model, I will first inject our model controller. So private model controller, and let's import it up. Now in our function verify via OTP, I'll create a model. Let me use async await this dot modelctr dot create, and I'll pass few options. For that I'll create a constant called options, which will be equals to an object where I'm going to pass few things. Now this is showing me an error, so I have to pass this constant as a property called component, and for that I will create a component first called OTP within my sign in folder and then the sign up folder, because it should be within the sign up folder. Now I'll pass this component and import it up. Alright, I will go to the OTP component TypeScript file, and out in there you can see the name, right? OTP component, that is what I'm passing in the options as the property, OTP component. Alright, now once that is done, what I'll do is await model.present, because without presenting it won't show up. Alright, and once again what I'll do is I'll create a object called data, within which if my model is getting dismissed and I have some data, then it will be passed in there and I can access it up. So I'll check out here if data exists, then I will do some tasks. Okay, now let's check the output. So if I click on verify now, and the OTP model is showing up. Alright, that's great. Now what is the next thing that I need to do? I need to check if the phone number, let me pass this value within a constant called number, or let's say phone number. Now I'll check if phone number exists and phone number length is equals to 10, because then only it will be a valid number. Otherwise, let me first assign it up. And now even I need a toast controller also, because I'll be passing a toast message up in there. Alright, and for doing that I will access the toast controller dot create. Within that function I'll pass an object, and within that object we have few parameters. One of them is the message, where I'll write please enter proper phone number, and then we have duration. I'll give 5 seconds. Color will be danger. Let me correct it up. Okay, yeah, danger. Then I will present this toast. Alright, and in order to do that I have to create a constant and use async await, then I'll pass this dot, then I'll present it up, as simple as that. And once that is done, I will clear all the other stuffs, cut that and paste it. Now let's check the output. So if I click on it, now as you can see this error is popping up, and if I type some number up in there and click on verify, then also the error is popping up because I'm typing the wrong number, and if correct number is passed, then I'm redirected to the OTP component. Let's design the OTP component HTML now. Let's work with that. So I will have, so out here I will have first Ion content, and to that I'll pass full screen because I need the full screen to be true out there. Now this is giving me an error. Why this error is coming? Because in our sign up module we have to access this OTP component in order to use the tags out there. So in the declaration I will pass OTP component. Once that is done, I have imported it up, and after doing that the error should be gone, and I am able to use the Ion content now. Now within the Ion content I will have Ion button, fill will be clear, and I'll pass a class Ion margin. Now within that I will have an Ion icon. I will name it as arrow back, and the slot will be only icon only, so that I can only see the icon, and I'll pass a color white. Let's hit save and see everything works fine or not. Let me type a phone number and click on verify. Okay, I don't see anything as of now because the color of the icon is white and I have to pass a background to it. So I'll copy it up from the sign up page and paste it and change this com tree and change the URL a bit because we are into the sign up page folder. Alright, and now if I type the number, click on verify, and I'm able to see the background image, and the back button is also showing it up. Alright, now once that is done, I will use my Ion footer tag, and within that I'll pass a class Ion no border, and within that what I'll do is I will use an Ion list where I'll pass lines equals to none, and within that Ion list I will pass an Ion list header where the class I'll pass is Ion margin because I need margin, and within that I'll pass Ion label. The label will be phone number verification, let's say, or mobile number verification to be precise, and then we will have an Ion item where I'll pass a class Ion margin, and within that I'll have an Ion label. I'll write it out there, enter verification code, save everything, and let's see the output. Now I'll type the number, click on verify, and I can see something is showing up in here. Alright, now let's design it up so that it will look nice. Alright, so I'll access my Ion footer, give it a height of 90%. I think that will be good. Let's check the output now. Let's type the number, hit verify, and we can see it is showing up. Alright, let me give 88%. I think that will be good. And now I will use my Ion list and give it a height of 100% so that we can see the full height. Border radius 20 pixel to the top left, 20 pixel to the top right, and 00 at the bottom. Ion list header label, Ion label, I'll give the font weight to be bold, font size to be 1.8 em, and to the Ion item I will access the Ion label, and to that also I'll pass a font size of 0.9 em. That will be good, like we did before. Alright, save everything, and I'll click auto save, and let's see the output now. Now every time I have to enter the phone number and click on verify, which is a very complicated process for just checking the output right now. So what I'll do is I'll go to the sign up page, and out there in the condition what I'll do is I'll pass another condition. I'll keep it in a bracket and pass another condition. If not phone number also, if phone number does not exist, then also it will exist. Alright, I will get redirected to the OTP screen. Let's check it now. So I'll hit verify, and I'm able to go to the screen, and we can see the design, it's okay. Alright, now this is getting a little bigger, or let me change the text to code verification, then it will become small and it will look nice. The next thing that I will do is I'll create an Ion row, and within that Ion row I'll pass a class Ion padding top, Ion text center, and within that I will have an Ion column, and within that I'll pass an Ion input tag. So this Ion input I will pass autofocus to true, and required fill, definitely it's the required fill, then the max length should be 1. I'll pass an identifier called OTP1, and I'll pass the type as tel. So tel is similar to number, but in order to use the max length I have to pass tel, because in number max length won't work. So the Ion input will now be numeric, and I'll pass an ng model where I will pass a string array, and the 0th position will be passed to this, the first input. Alright, then I will have a key up output property where I'll pass a function with an event alright. It will get triggered whenever I'm typing something, alright. Let's work on that now. So I'll create a property. I have to access the first ion input, and I'll use the identifier and view child for that. It's already imported, and I will also initialize the OTP string array, and initialize to null all the values, alright. We'll have 4 input tags for the OTP, and I'll also set a property called isLoading to false initially. We will use it for the loader, alright. Okay, I will use the lifecycle ion enter, and whenever I enter this page, what I'll do is, let me first console it up that we are entering this function, and then I'll pass a set timeout, and within that a callback, and it's a timer of 500 milliseconds, and within that I will write this dot input dot set focus function. So whenever I am entering this page, the focus will be set on the first input tag, alright, and then I will be using the OTP function. Let me declare it up. Now as you can see, this is giving me an error, alright. Now why this error is occurring? Now let's go to our Signup module, and within that we can see that we have passed the reactive form. We have to pass the forms module also in order to access the ng model, alright. That was a mistake, alright. Let's save everything and see the error is gone. Now if I click on verify, we can see, okay fine, we can see some input, alright. Let's design everything up nicely first. So out here what I'll do is I'll pass overflow visible in my ion label, and I'll do some styling for my ion input also. So ion row, ion column, and ion input, and font size to be 1.5 em, and I'll pass a background color of light. I'll pass a background color of light, and display will be inline block. Alright, now this is the thing which we want to design. I'll give a height and width of say 8 VH, then a border radius to be 5 pixel, and save everything. And let's see now. Click on verify. Design is not coming up. Why? Let's check it out. Let's go to our HTML, and let me copy everything and paste it 3 more times. Let me just copy it up, the ion input, and within the ion column I'll paste everything, and let's change it up to OTP2, OTP3, OTP4, and even OTP string also I'll keep on changing to the array length. Alright, let's see the output. So I'll click on verify, and still it is not coming up. And okay, I have passed the ion row outside of ion label, so I have to pass within the ion label. Now let's see the output. And now it's coming up. Alright, we need to pass some styling to that so that it can be aligned properly. So I'll pass and margin left class to the ion inputs. Alright, and then let's work on that also. So out here within my ion column I'll pass this class, and to that I'll pass margin left to 3 VH. I think will be good. Let's check it out. Let's save everything and see. I click on verify, and we can see the design is showing up nicely. Alright, now once that is done, what I'll do is, okay, I'm having an extra line, so I'll pass lines equals to none in my ion item. Let's see the design now. So I click on verify, no lines are coming up. That's great. Now let me pass some functionality to the ion button, and for that I'll pass a click event. I have to use the model controller for that, and I will inject it up in my constructor and import it, and now I can directly, I'll next make it public, and I can directly use it in my HTML model controller.dismiss, and it will dismiss the model when I click on the back button. Alright, let's save and check it out. I click on verify, and if I click on the back button, as you can see, model is getting dismissed. Now if I click on verify again and type something, we have to work on this functionality now. Alright, at first I'll pass, the next parameter will be the previous identifier, which will be empty because we do not have any previous identifier for our first ion input. And the next will be OTP2. I want to redirect to OTP2 whenever it is typed, and the index should be 0. Alright, now I'll use this function, pass all the parameters, and within that what I'll do, I'll console the event, and then I will create a pattern where I will take only 0 to 9 inputs. Alright, only the numbers will be added. Now I'll create a variable called input char. Let me save and see what comes up now. So I'll hit on verify and try to type something, and I am able to see the event. Now in this I have the which and key code out there, so I'll access it up. String dot from char code event dot which. If it exists, then I'll pass event dot which, otherwise I'll pass event dot key code. Now if the pattern dot test, when I'm testing this input character, if it is false, then I'm going to console invalid character, console.log invalid character. Event dot prevent default function I'll call it up, and this dot OTP string of that particular index will be set to empty string. Alright, now if I type out there plus, and let me return it up. Alright, now let me pass this to all the ion inputs. So in the second one I will have OTP 1 as the previous one, OTP 2, OTP 3 as the next one, OTP 2 as the previous one, OTP 4 as the next one for this third one, and OTP 3 will be the next one, and sorry, OTP 3 will be the previous one and nothing at the next. Alright.
Now if I try to type a plus character, it is not taking that. It is returning an empty string. And if I type any number, then it is taking that. So that means if I'm typing anything other than a number, then it won't take it. Alright.
And then in the function, what I'll do is I'll check a condition. If event.target.value.length is greater than 1, then what I'll do is I'll create a variable called value where I'll pass this length. Alright, event.target.length, and this .otp string at that particular index will be that particular value. Alright. Now again I will check another condition. If I'll do one thing, I will just initialize this variable earlier on and use that everywhere. So again in this condition what I'll do is event.length is less than 1 and previous exists. Alright, then I'll set the focus to the previous one. Okay, so let's try it out. If I type 4, it's not working. Why it is not working? So let me give an else condition also. If next exists and the value.length greater than 0, then what I'll do is I'll set the focus to the next one. Let's try it now. So I've given the condition, and in the else condition what I'll do is if next equals to an empty string, then what I'll do is this dot show loader, I'll create a loader out there, and to that I'll pass a message verifying. And let's create a show loader. How we will do that? We have to inject loading controller for that. So import it, and now we can use it up. Return this dot loading controller dot create, and within that I'll pass the message which is passed in the parameter. Alright, then I'll pass a spinner. Let's say bubbles will be good, and then it is a promise, so I'll use then and catch. In the callback what I'll do is I'll simply present the loader, and this is also a promise, so I'll use then and catch out here also. Now in the then what I'll do is initially what I'll do is I'll set is loading to true out here, and if in the thens condition when it is presented, I'll check if loading is not true, then I will dismiss the loader. Alright, automatically. So that's what I'm going to do out in here, so it will prevent from any error. Now in the catch condition I'll simply console it up, and even out here also I'll dismiss the loader by setting is loading to false. Now once that is done, even I'll pass a condition out in here. I'll check if is loading is not true, then only I'll set it to true. Now I'll also have an hide loader function where I'll check if is loading is not true, then I will set it to true, and return this dot loading controller dot dismiss. And this is also promise, so I'll use then and catch. In the then I'll simply console and I'll write dismissed, and in the catch I'll simply console the error. Alright, that's it. Now I'll use the show loader, and after that I'll create a variable called OTP which will be equals to this join OTP array, and I'll pass this array string, and I'll create this function. Within this function I will pass a parameter OTP, and I'll check if OTP does not exist or equals to empty, then I'll simply return. Otherwise I'll create a new constant called OTP new, and I will join all the arrays by this empty string. Alright, so it will be appended nicely. Now if string.length equals to, or let it be, I won't check it, I'll simply return the OTP because we already have 4 characters, so that's fine. After that is done, what I'll do is I'll reset my OTP string to the empty string in the whole array. Alright, and I'll hide the loader, and in the else if the next not equals to an empty string, then I'll simply return 0. Alright, let's save it up and see. I'll click on verify, and let me try to type something. It's not working. Why? Let me just check the code why it is not working. Okay, I've given it that length. Let me change it to value, then only it will work. And in the hide loader also I have to change the condition that if is loading is true, then I'll set it to false. Alright, so that are the 2 mistakes which I did. And out in here I'll cut this up and create another function called verify OTP, and out there I'll just create this function, and in there I'll simply pass this out. Alright, and out here what I'll do, I'll pass a comment. If this just pass the OTP to the server, and you can verify it out there. Alright, now once the verification is done, you can reset the OTP string and hide the loader. That's what you need to do. Alright, and then at last I will dismiss the model and pass the OTP in the model dismiss. Alright, which we can access it up. And if the OTP equals to 1234, I'll just give it a check for the time being just to make it work. If the OTP is 1234, then only it will work. Otherwise I'll simply pass a toast message, and for that I have to access my toast controller, which I've already worked with in my sign up page. Alright, I'll just simply copy it up and paste it out here. And in order to use it up, I have to use the toast controller. I have to inject it up. Let's do it and import it also. Alright, so yeah, async, we have to pass it out so that error will be gone. Now once that is done, I'll change the message wrong OTP and I'll reset the string after that also. Alright, so I'll save everything and let's see the output now. So out in my sign up page, if data exists, then what I'll do, I'll simply console the data and OTP equals to console data. Now let me just check it out. Now if the data exists, then what I'll do is I'll go to the sign up page HTML and out there I'll create another button. I'll simply copy the earlier button and I'll paste it out in here. Alright, and what I'll do is I'll dismiss the click event and make it and call it verified and give the color to success. Alright, and out here I'll give a condition. If verified is true, then only it will work. If verified is not true, then the other button will stop working. Alright, so I'll pass a verified equals to false property out in there, and when the data is I'm getting the data, I'll simply set the verified to true. And also whenever the ION input is changing or the phone number is changing, then I will create a output. I'll check the event. If phone number is changing, then what I'll do is I'll check the event. I'll check if the phone number is valid. I'll simply copy this condition and I'll simply remove this one also, like I told earlier. Alright, and what I'll do is I'll paste it out here, and if the condition is satisfied, then what I'll do is I'll check if phone number equals to the earlier phone number, and for that I have to store it in my verified number property, which I've just created. And I'll also set this dot verified number will be equals to the number which I passed earlier, which was verified. Alright, and if it is equal to the verified number, then what I'll do is, or I'll check if verified number exists and phone number equals to verified number or not equals to verified number, then what I'll do is I'll simply set verified to false. Alright, let us make it equals to and verified to true, otherwise I'll set verified to false. Alright, so this means if I'm changing the number and it is not the same number, then the verified will be turned to false. Alright, and let's save it and let's check the output now. Let me type some proper number and click on verify, and now I'll type something up in here, 1235, wrong OTP, right? 1234, correct OTP, and verified, it is showing up. If I change the number, it is changing. Alright, so it's working nicely, right?
Now I can see there is an error in my sign in page. The name of the class I've given it wrong, so it will be CLASS. Let me correct it up, and same I'll do in my sign up page also. So once the correction is done, let me check the output, and everything is working nice. We can see the padding now. Alright,
and if I click again, then it's working. Submit the form and give the password, click verify, click submit, and we can see the data that is coming up. Alright, and click back, sign up. Then again, if I click on verify, I'm getting the error. Alright, so that is working nicely. Everything is working nicely up in here. Alright, so we have successfully completed this video, and I hope you guys like this. If you like the video, please subscribe to the channel, share with your friends. Alright,